Golly. Am I live? I believe I am. I believe I'm live now. Says I am. Hopefully that we won't have a signal problem this week. Last week, I don't. I usually have a great signal here at the shop, and I'm gonna scoot this over a little bit. Scoot me or it, one or the other. Which way? Yeah, got to scoot me, I guess. Uh, but yeah, I usually have a great signal here at the shop, and everything was going fine. I think the video was going fine. Then I just lost signal for a few seconds. It doesn't take but just a little blip, and then you're off the air. And that's what happened last week. And you know, knocked me off the air, and you know, had to start again. I actually made two last week. One a little bit shorter than the other one, and got some people back on, but uh, it is what it is. I hope everybody's doing good this week. I'm not getting many people jumping in right quick. Let's see what's going on here. Let me double check my chat. Let's see. Testing my chat. Yep, it's fine. I just hadn't got anybody jumped into the chat yet. Let me get my collar straight. Got to do my makeup. Yeah, I don't do much makeup. Shave a little bit and brush my teeth, and I got to have good fresh breath when I'm doing this. I don't want anybody to be upset. So that I have to do, and then I got to have fresh breath and a fresh attitude, I guess you might say, with what's going on in the world right now. But everything was pretty pretty normal this week, except I went to the dentist because I have a toothache. I thought it was sort of toward the middle of my molars and everything. Come to find out, it's the one on the rear that I've had a cap put on, but evidently I'm gonna have to have a root canal. So they're gonna have to drill through. Hey James, how are you? I'm gonna have to drill through the cap, take for the root canal. Then they're gonna have to refill my cap that I put on there years ago or several years ago, and that sort of stuff. I'm doing fine. Uh, what what am I using for the visuals? Well, I mean that's a real Jeep behind me. uh, I'm just using my computer. Nothing special. Uh, I try to just keep it simple. The simpler the better, I think, on my videos, because I'm coming live. So there's nothing special. Like I said, that's a real Jeep that a Willis Jeep that we're working on. Well, primarily Jim's working on it. We put a new head gasket on it, uh, and found another little water leak where he's having to address. And other than that, we're trying to get the idle on it right. I mean, we drove it down the road. Jim and I drove it down the road the other day, and it's doing pretty good for what it is. Well, I'm glad to hear that, James. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm trying my best to do good and everything. Like I said, I went for a few weeks ago. I may have mentioned I thought I was going to have a root canal on one of my upper molars. I went to this. I had to go. They sent me to a specialist, and come to find out, uh, I didn't. Yeah, yeah. This is just my Apple computer. Uh, I'm using the camera that is on my laptop. I'm not using any special effects. And I've noticed that it improved. Now, like I said, I keep the updates with everything. So I think they kind of tweaked the webcam uh, software on the Apple computer. It's why it's what it's given is given that blurred background effect automatically. So I didn't do anything. It's all in software, I would imagine, and it does pretty good by doing that. But yeah, I like it kind of made it easier for me because I have used a webcam in the past, so now I don't have to. And no, I don't need any lipstick. I said I was doing my makeup. Yeah, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't do any makeup or any prep. Like I said, I shave off my beard a little bit and brush my teeth, and so I can have a minty fresh breath, and so I don't have breakfast left in my mouth. I try to do that, but no, I don't do no special effects when you come to seeing me. This is me. I am what I am, and uh, I I don't look any better or worse, I guess you might say. Yeah, yeah. It's I try to be as real in my thought and real in the video as I possibly can be, and that's why I drink my little Sprite here. I get my little refreshment, get a clear throat that way, get lubricate the throat. I'm always trying to make sure I do that right, so I don't get too uh, out of shape. I guess you might say, up here talking for 30 minutes, 30 or 40 minutes. But everything's kind of crazy, I guess, out in the national scene. Everybody's all upset about this Epstein file. I see that, and it is sort of upsetting. I did hear one guy talk about it. Well, a guy that was a former CIA, uh, and he was talking about they're probably using it more as leverage than anything else on world situations. I mean, it's probably got world leaders implicated. Uh, you got of the ones that we know of, like the Bill Gates and Bill Clinton, uh, and there's probably some other people that are involved. We just don't know. Uh, but we're in a situation where where uh, I don't know how to think about those things. I'm not totally upset. I would like to know in some ways, but is no one going to help me in any way? As long as the world, as long as the nation runs clean, I kind of, I'm not all that upset about the Epstein thing. I mean, it was pedophile. Uh, it was, it was people doing things they shouldn't be doing. And from what I gather, after listening to this CIA guy, uh, it could be that they're using it more as leverage than anything. So it's sort of like, you better not, or I'll shut you up. So it can kind of keep people down if it's their enemies. So if it helps control somebody's enemies, that's probably one of the purposes of that. I don't know. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Trump may be saying, "Hey, you know, I can release this tomorrow if you want me to. You better stay, keep your mouth shut." So yeah, politics is filthy, that's for sure. Politics is a dirty business, and I don't know what to say about those things other than as long as all the other policies and everything gets taken care of, I'm not overly concerned about the situation right now. I mean, the situation that's going on with, um, well, how do I say this? Uh, as long as the border control stuff is taken care of, as long as the nation runs good and Trump keeps everything in order, I'm happy with things. Now, will this screw up the midterm elections? I don't know. But Trump's trying his best to get everything done for the first 2 years in case he gets a midterm. And, and that's very possible. So he's working as hard as he can to get everything that he wants done in the first 2 years because he knows he's got pretty well control of the House and the Senate, and he can get everything passed that needs to be passed. And then the second 2 years, he can coast. He can coast because you know I don't think that they've got anything that well it's crazy. I mean, if it goes back to like what they did on his last 4 years, it'd be a mess because all they'll do is impeach, 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 and that's what they'll be after, which does nothing. Which does nothing. Impeaching is worthless. Uh, all that's doing is just taking up time because if you try to get him out of office now, it takes a whole lot of work to do that. I mean, somebody's just not going to step down and Trump's already proven that. They impeached him twice, tried to do it a third time, and just didn't get it across. And I mean, it didn't do anything. No, you and I aren't going to be on that list. That's for sure. And yeah, it's the rich and famous. Rich and famous are the ones that are going to have to worry about the Jeffrey Epstein list. And to me, I don't care. I don't care about the rich and famous. As long as they don't destroy my life, as long as they don't interfere with how I operate, I could care less who's on that list. I mean, I mean, I can guesstimate who's on it. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah, cutting taxes was critical. That was a critical thing for me. I'm glad they passed that. It's actually a bill now. It's law. It's not a presidential uh, mandate like it was. Right now, it is a bill, and once once I mean, it's a law, not a bill. I mean, those tax cuts are permanent, and I like to, unless they pass legislation against it in the future and repeal it, uh, it's the law of the land. And I'm glad to see that. And hopefully, everybody will be able to, benefit from it. And that was a very critical thing, very critical. Well, I'll get back to what I was going to say a while ago. I, I, a couple of weeks ago, I was worried about it. And I had my regular dentist tell me to go check with a specialist, thinking that I had a root canal that I was needing on my upper molar. Well, I went to the specialist. He checked everything. He said, "No, what you're doing, you're grinding your teeth at night, got me on a mouth guard, and it helped. And that went away. The pain went away. And then I got another pain in a lower molar. I said, "Oh crap!" I said, "I don't think that's grinding my teeth." So I even quit doing that. I quit using my mouth guard to see if that was the mouth guard was causing a problem. And I had to go to him this week. Sure enough, now I got to have a root canal on the right side of my mouth in 2 weeks because they won't let you do it immediately. So I've got to have a root canal done on the right side instead of the left side. And it just goes to show you that as you get older, the old body falls apart. So I got to go get that fixed. And then other than that, I've got a family reunion. My wife's it's sort of a dying family reunion. It's well, mainly because a lot of us are dying. Um, it's a lot of her cousins and everything. It was her granddaddy and grandmother's birthday celebration at one time. Then they just made it into a family reunion after the grandparents passed, and we carried it on for 50 or 60 years, really good. And now that the cousins, all the parents have passed on, uh, all like my wife's parents and her cousins' parents and all the brothers and sisters of the family have passed on, and it's left down to the cousins. And now the cousins, we're losing several of the cousins now, and the family reunion is kind of going away because the next generation is no big interest in that. Yeah. Yeah, getting old ain't for sissies, that's for sure. It ain't for sissies. Oh, waiting on the X-ray for your knee, huh? Yeah. Well, as we get older, Walter, we're going to get arthritis and everything else. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people abusing the system, Jamie. And there's a lot of these people. There's a lot of these, as I say, young men living in the basement of mom and dad's basement and getting a check, and that's all they live off of. And we need to get the able-bodied people working again. We need people that can work, do some work. I don't care how much you make, but just get off the taxes, get off the freebies, and that sort of stuff. We all. I mean, I'm on Social Security, me and my wife, but we worked 50 something years to get on it. I mean, we paid into it for 50 something years. So it's not like that I'm getting money that I didn't earn. Uh, Me and my employer that paid into the system for 50 something years, we paid into it. And I paid hefty into it. I paid the maximum for a number of years. I mean, I like so many people do. I mean, I remember the time when I couldn't wait to a certain point in time during the year that uh, some of this was paid up. I forgot what it was. I forgot how many months it took, but yeah, I know we need to get people off the free ride, and there's a lot of people. Now, the people that need it, they should get money. The people that don't need it, get them off. Uh, that's been the rule for years. I mean, Lyndon Johnson, with his Great Society, ruined the nation. He ruined the nation. My dad predicted that years ago. I remembered. I remember him when they implemented that. He said this will ruin the country, and he was right. And I believe It's been the downfall of our society. The Great Society is the worst society. I mean, it's everybody's abused Medicaid and Medicare and the food stamps and I mean, there are certain people that need food stamps, but there's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that are just lazy, and if they can weed those people out, get them out, get them off of it, get them off of it. Yeah, yeah, the illegals on it now. That's another thing too, altogether. That's a crazy situation. That's a crazy situation. Tell you what, hold on one second. Talk among yourself. I got to step aside a second. I'm still here. Just keep talking. I'll be right back. I had to blow my nose. I'm coming. Oh, I'm back. I had to blow my nose. Kind of got choked up there. And because I'm on real TV here. I'm on real TV. What did he say again? Are you talking about me, James? I said I had to step aside. I had to blow my nose, and I don't think y'all want to see that. Anyway, the towels were over there, so I had to walk a piece. I had to walk over here to the other shop table to get one and everything. So that's where I went. But we need to straighten out things. We need to be able to get back to a normal situation. I'm feeling good about where we're at with taxes and where the nation is kind of, I mean, I really do. I feel good. I mean, of what Trump has accomplished in about 150 days, uh, whatever it is he's been in, 130. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. And, I can't be any happier as long as we can keep some of this craziness. I mean, this stuff on the border out in Los Angeles, and now we got a judge that's trying to stop him from getting anybody in Los Angeles, which is crazy. I mean, that's where why not go out there? That's where all these illegals are. There's been millions of them run into Los Angeles. Now the problem is you got millions trying to fight him against that, and there's oh no, they're taking citizens and all this sort of stuff. I don't think they've been taking any citizens. And if somebody gets swept up in it and they find out they're a citizen, okay, well, let them go. What did I say that my father said? Oh, I was talking about Lyndon Johnson. He always said that when Lyndon Johnson passed the Great Society thing back in '65 or whatever, that would ruin the country. And I think he was right. I mean, you can harken back to what happened when Lyndon Johnson did that Civil Rights Act and put everybody on welfare and everything like he did, and that ruined the nation. He made a dependent. He made. That's why we have so many dependent on the Democratic Party. They think that the Democratic Party is the only way that they're going to get any benefits. And what they've done, the Democratic Party has enslaved everybody. It's what they've done. They have made that a dependent society. They didn't help them at all. They didn't help them produce anything else. They didn't help them have a better job. What they did, they made a dependency, and they wanted that. The Democrats wanted that. they wanted them to think, well, you got to vote Democratic or, you'll lose your benefits. So that's what's happened. And and it ruined the fabric of the black community. I mean, there's so many people talked about that the it's made it easier to have to not be a family in the black community, to be a single family, and that's what's happened. I mean, you've got them. They say, well, this is the norm. Just have a bunch of baby mamas out there. Don't ever get married. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to. Most of the time, you won't even have to pay child support. You just be a baby mama. Uh, it's all kind of screwed up mess, and it's ruined. It's filled the court system with all kind of stuff. I mean, it has ruined the nation, and it just put a rot to it, in my opinion. And what do you do? What do you do? You can't do anything. I mean, the fabric of the society has changed tremendously. Yeah, I know it. I've seen that. Yeah, Chicago is just as bad. Chicago area and New York area and the LA area. That's where all these. I mean, there's illegals all over the place. There was actually some picked up in my area here. There was a farm worker that kind of got some of them upset because he had lived here, but he came in as an illegal when he was 16, and then he got married and had several children, and his children graduated from school here in Cherryville, and uh, then he got arrested uh, a few weeks ago, and he's in Atlanta or somewhere right now, and but he never tried to be a citizen, and he never tried to do things the right way. He came here illegally, and they deported him or trying to deport him, and it's got a lot of people upset with that. Now he does have a what happened. His wife, who has actually passed away now, she passed away several years ago, evidently, and he raised his children by himself. She she had some mental problems, and she had taken out a restraining order against him. And because she had taken out a restraining order against him, even though she was the one with the mental problem, it triggered his arrest. And that because he was an illegal with a past record like that, and so it triggered it. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, James. And so you get you do things, you have to pay the price. And unfortunately for him, he's having to pay the price right now. So I don't have the sympathy or the empathy that some people do. My my train of thought is you should correct your problems and fix it if there was one. And if you're here illegally, you need to correct that and try to go the legal route. But some people say, well, no, I'm getting away with it, so I'm just going to keep on getting away with it. Well, one day you won't, and that's what's happened. That's what happened to this guy. I mean, you can't forever just keep on saying, well, I'll get away with it. I'll get away with it. Yeah, you'll get away with it until you don't get away with it. And that's what's happening. Well, guys, I am going to cut things short again. I kind of jumped out here, said my piece. I'm gonna cut things short because, like I said, we do have a family reunion coming up today. My lovely wife said, "Don't go too long on the podcast," so I can't. And I've been out bush hogging and doing things. I've been making a video. It's going to it's probably going to take me several days to put it together, but I've got a video I'm going to put out about me cleaning up and down my fence rail, uh, my fence line. Uh, I got a split rail fence. Well, not a split rail. I got a rail fence, and I've been cleaning up and down that. And I've got a video showing what I had to do and some of my equipment and a few things like that. I'm gonna get that out in the next few days. I'm not big onto these self-made videos. I'm better just doing the old podcast here because I can just turn this on and start yakking and talking, and that's what I do best, I guess. So I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all take care. Have a good week. Hopefully everything will stay the same as it has this past week. And y'all take care, and I'll see you around.